Good evening. This is NPR. No, it's not. I'm kidding. It's not. This is Oathstar, a Highcaster campaign, and our 5th episode. If you have not watched up to now, you will not know what's going on. So I suggest that you watch up until now and then watch this. We're about to hit what some literary scholars would call the climax of the story because we only have one episode left. So I hope you enjoy. This has been a lot of fun. You are witnessing a campaign that is on the heels of a Kickstarter. So there's lots of excitement around this game right now. Hope you are enjoying this. I know I am. And before we do a recap of where our heroes have been and where they're heading.
Hey Chris, if we miss the Kickstarter, is there a way to pre-order the Highcaster book after the fact?
No. Wait, you're serving up an opportunity. I'm sorry. Okay, yes. Right now, you cannot order a pre-order, but you can shortly because this is going to be published by Gallant Knight Games, who is hosting us right now, and you will be able to get the book from them. Also, it's going out on DriveThruRPG, so we are in the final throes of editing. I'm actually doing some changes as we speak, and that means that the book's going to be available probably as soon as September. So,
oh wow, sounds like we should probably follow Gallant Knight Games and Christopher Gray on all relevant social media and in DriveThruRPG so that we get an alert as soon as that happens, right?
I think that's a good idea. You can find me at Gray Author with an E, or at the website Christopher.world because I have all of the worlds of Christopher. I have it trademarked, and I get a lot of royalty from that. But yeah, we're on the home stretch of the game, so please stay tuned because it is coming very quickly. And I'm very excited, by the way, about how the game turned out following the Kickstarter because we ended up doing a whole lot more content than we started with. It's going to be about a 120-page game, and now it's like a 300-page game. We have many sections there that weren't there before, including how to play solo, and I'm doing a solo campaign on my channel on Twitch and YouTube. And then there's also rules in there on how to adapt basically any fantasy game into the Highcaster system, which is called the Caster system. And there's an entire section just on random tables that you can use to build your Highcaster. So there's a lot of good stuff in there. It's a really robust game. It's certainly the biggest I've ever worked on. So, okay, that's it enough for promoting me. Why don't we promote the rest of you all? Who else is here with us?
We'll keep it going like we've always done. I'm Rob Abear, he, him pronouns. You can find me on wherever fine art is seen, such as Twitter and Instagram at Nerdy Paper Games. You can also follow me on Itch, where I have the games that I've designed. They're all pay what you wish, so go nuts. That's also Nerdy Paper Games. And I will be playing Grumble, who, as I've mentioned before, is a rocky round boy, a Pac-Man-esque gnome-ish type character who loves hats and songs and playing banjo. And yeah, I will throw it to Danny.
Hi, I'm Danny, and I can vouch that Rob's games are very fun and his art is amazing because I have participated and bought both, so definitely.
Oh, and commissions are open for medical care for milkshake.
Hashtag do it for milkshake.
Do it for milkshake.
I'm Danny. I'm a writer, and I write for role-playing games, and I write fiction as well, mostly horror. Role-playing games I've done have been Conan, Dishonored. Recently, just today, a little fiction piece I did for Paizo came out just today, and you can go see that on the Paizo website. I get to write about the iconic Linny, the gnome druid. So that was awesome. And yeah, you can find me at DanielleDelisle.com and at Danielle Delisle on Twitter. Oh, and I do a podcast with Joanna, but we just mess around on that. So, we talk about horror and goof around and swear and all sorts of stuff. So I will toss it to Kurt, though.
Oh, hi, that's me. Hi, I'm Kurt. I use he, him pronouns. You can find me on Twitter at Kurt Potts. I am a game designer, graphic designer. I am the co-author of Lighthearted, also being published by Gallant Knight Games, which is so close to the end. Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything, but soon I'm gonna do the soon TM. You'll have that stuff if you backed it, and if not, you'll have a way to get it. But that's me. Follow me on the internet and stuff, and go hashtag do it for milkshake. And I'll throw it to Joanna.
I guess that leaves me. Hello, I'm Joanna Nelius. I'm the one that does the podcast with Danny. It's called Tell Us What's in the Box. Yeah, what's in the box? All right. And that's enough of that. I play Renoy, who is descended from a demon. So she's like a part demon demigod, who's usually pretty nice and pretty helpful. She likes to save people, but she has her quirks. She doesn't like getting wet because it weighs down her wings and her feathers, and it's just really, really icky. She sometimes has a temper, I guess, kind of. But yeah, that's who I'm playing. If you want to give me a follow, I'm on Instagram and Twitter at JLN Writes, as in the action. Aside from the podcast, I write horror. I'm a tech journalist. Yeah, I do all the nerdy things. So
awesome. Well, here we are on episode. What did I say it was? 5. We are following our heroes as they have marched from the Whitlands far to the east. They circumnavigated the wetlands and sort of the heart of the continent, and ended up going back down after meeting with the sea beards on the coast and helping them with their giant sea scare problem. And now they're back in the heartland, basically in the area around the Darrewish Riverlands. And this is what was once a beautiful cultural center of civilization that has been reduced to basically a single citadel as a result of war with the neighboring Hydoni. It was uncovered that the neighboring Hydoni had gone to war with the Darrewish because they had inadvertently unleashed a corruption on the land that had killed tens of thousands of Hydoni people. This corruption our heroes have encountered and know that is coming from a god shard or a star shard, which was the remnants of one of the gods that had fallen here, a god known as the Flute, or goddess, or maybe it's just a god, we don't really know, some sort of divine entity known as the Flute. And that is probably the source of corruption as a result of the High Council person, Esther, who had accidentally unleashed it by trying to get to the shard. There is a star in the sky, so there is a way to get the gods back. And that seems to be what most people are trying to do, preserve a history before their time. So we left off last time as our heroes have crossed the what the Whitlanders call the swamp, but really it's a bayou. And they have ended up at or nearby this shard. And the shard is essentially a giant obsidian rock that is just in the middle of the swamp. And it is emanating power and energy. Even if you don't know or understand the power, you can feel it. There's a presence that just seeps in everywhere. And this sort of black, inky water is spreading out from there. You've managed to get through the night without too much of a problem. There were a bunch of undead coming from this corruption that were coming after you, but you managed to waylay all of that. And now it is a new morning, which means if you have a discipline die that you've spent, you can recover that. And you can recover a harm. You might have some talents or something that allow you to do more than that, but just for a night's rest, that's all you get.
Just one, right?
Yeah, just one. The game designer wanted it to be hard on you.
Who did that? Gosh.
I don't know, but if you want to write a letter, you could write it to Nerdy Paper Games.
Right. We'll do.
I feed off of your hate, so please.
At nerdy pig.
So you woke up. I mean, you're rested enough. It was kind of a rough night, but you're rested enough. And you're looking now at the sun-backed. It's like the silhouette of the God Shard as the sun is rising above it, and it's sort of misty, way too humid, hot, and kind of miserable insect-infested swamp that has zombies. I mean, this is actually Kurt's fault because he didn't want to play in the Woodlands.
Yes, yeah, that's my fault. Yeah,
Must really suck to have flesh, guys. All these mosquitoes. I'd hate to not be made out of rocks.
it is a bit of a problem at the moment. Yes.
I've got scales. They're kind of waterproof, right? A little, maybe.
I would say you're probably pretty comfortable. I mean, if you're warm, if you're cold-blooded.
Yeah, I'm basically a dragon, which I forgot to mention earlier. Everybody, I play a Nosy. She's a Drake Magister, and we both go by she/her pronouns. So just in case, so she does indeed have scales. So yeah, she might be pretty comfy. I mean, if it's warmer here, like a bayou, and stuff like that, she might be pretty comfy, perhaps.
So is there anything that's preventing us from reaching the shard right now?
No, just the terrain is not great, but it's accessible. There doesn't seem to be any guardian or anything, and the undead are gone.
Yep. Then I think we should investigate. We should head towards it and investigate the immediately surrounding area. I think this is the first time any of us have seen a shard, right? So
Definitely the first time for me.
Yeah.
I've heard stories, but never seen one.
Yeah, same. I mean, I've heard people talk, but that's about it. Never seen one myself.
I've made up stories, but I've never actually seen one. So this is going to be exciting to see how close I got to it.
As you approach it, it just is way bigger even than you realized. I mean, there's a lot of tricks of the eye at play here, and so when you arrive, even in a modest distance, you can see kind of just how giant it is. It's way past Emir in height, and probably 3 Emirs. It's equally. It's like when you see a redwood for the first time. You kind of think you can see how big it is, but when you get to it, no, this is way bigger than I ever thought possible.
Emir, our giant kin compatriot.
Yeah, the one who forgot to say who his character is. Yeah, Amir and Muscles. Giantkin, Wildkin. Yeah.
Who is large even for a giantkin.
Yeah.
And we've decided probably
about 18 feet tall. I'm 3 times a human.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this thing is 60 feet or more high, and it's just a slick shard of volcanic glass.
Emir, I'm not going to whistle into the mic, but Emir whistles like a long, whistle as he looks all the way to the top of this thing.
And there is a presence there. It's hard to articulate, especially for those of you that are not magically attuned. For those of you that are magically attuned, it's almost like it's radiating heat, and it feels like it actually is changing the texture of the air. As you get closer, it feels like that the air is getting thicker. But for those of you that are not really tuned to magic, it just feels like foreboding, like you are in the presence of a very powerful entity that is very cross with you.
I have a feeling that we have just stumbled into a den and it is occupied.
Do I have any sort of ability to commune with stone or crystal or anything like that, being a Holton?
Arguably, yeah. It depends on, I guess, what you're after. Like, you can't talk to rocks and they talk back, but certainly you can use stones as a way of remembering or understanding.
Well, I wanna, since this is like a big crystalline shard, right?
Yeah.
I wanna commune with the mound that it's coming out of to see if I can like feel almost like a sonar charge, you know, like if there's anything underneath this mound,
Mm-hmm. All right, there is a threat on
or
this.
if there's like some sort of route for this shard. Does it seem like the shard formed in the sky and like came down like a javelin and stuck in the earth, or did something else hit and there was sort of the explosion of the shard grew out of the impact?
Yeah, good question. We're going to use this threat here, Mystery of the Shard. Just do 2-stage threat. That's what you're confronting. And this can be depending on your approach here. I think it's just scout, because you're just trying to find information at this point. That's courage. But you could argue prestige if you're actually trying to commune with the energy of the rock.
Well, my courage is better anyway.
Yeah.
So we'll go with that. Let's see. I don't really think I have anything that I have stone body, but I don't think that does that give me anything in this instance. Probably not.
I think you should get a talent die even if you don't have one, because of the nature of what you're doing.
Okay. So that's a D6.
So that's a D6, and then your courage.
Okay, so that's 1d20 plus 1d6 for my courage and 1d6 for the bonus die. Alrighty. And then I choose the highest of the two. Oh man, I got double sixes, but I can only keep one. That is going to be a 16.
Okay. So I think if you had a suspicion of this, it's probably true that the volcanic shard is a remnant of the explosion.
Okay.
So it's not like obsidian fell from the sky. It's like something fell from the sky, and as a reaction of that impact, this shard was created.
Yeah, so I think like I'm walking up the mound and I'm sort of tapping with my foot on the rocks as I climb closer to the shard. And when I get up to the shard, I'm sort of like knocking, like if you're trying to find a stud behind some drywall, right? Like you're listening to the tone, and I find a little spot and I just rear back and punch it as hard as I can, and the whole thing shakes like a tuning fork. And I can tell from like sort of the way the sound hits, because I also have all this musical aptitude as well.
Yeah.
I can sort of get a vibe for what is underneath this mound, and I imagine there's probably other spikes of this shard buried underneath here, and like this one piece coming straight up is like if you grow crystals in like a saline solution, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And when you hit it as a tuning fork, you kind of hear a deeper resonance that shouldn't really be there. And that resonance means to you that there is a hollowness inside
of the shard.
Inside the shard. So it seems like it's not entirely solid. And you can tell where, you could potentially crack open a weak spot and see inside.
How big is the shard like around when we're up next to it?
About 20 feet in radius. So yeah, 40 feet
like
across.
Like a big redwood tree.
Right. Yeah.
That size. Okay. So big enough to go into. I'm probably not the best person for this. I'm sure there's somebody else that would be better at this. Maybe finding a crack in the shard and like, either breaking it open or wedging ourselves through.
You remember Anosi had some revelations about this.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, that part of the issue when Esther went and tried to do this herself was that she was not working with the magic and with the entity that was there, trying to force her way through it. So Inosi figured out that what we really have to do is try to find a way to attune ourselves with the shard to be able to communicate with it, to deal with it in any kind of way. If I remember correctly, if Inosi remembers correctly.
Yeah.
So Inosi will say that as well. Maybe, we can all put our heads together and figure out. I mean, something magical if Renoy and I put our heads together. We might be able to figure something out. Perhaps.
Absolutely. Yeah, we could try that. Yeah.
Yeah, between your magic and my magic. So who would want to, I suppose it would be like Renoy and I are trying to figure out a way to, get into or find a way to attune ourselves with the shard using magic. So one of us will take the lead on that. The other will assist, probably by getting ourselves one of the discipline dice, right?
Yep, that's right. So who's doing it and what does it look like?
Would Renoy or I be better suited? What type of you have, like demonic kind of?
Mine is mostly just charms and curses. I feel like the kind of magic that you can do is more like advanced or different, more maybe of what the shard requires.
Okay, so that makes sense to me. So Inosi will take the lead on that, trying to figure it out, and Renoy will help. And it will look like it will probably look like them both touching the shard. Probably Inosi with her staff, which has most of her magical knowledge inscribed upon it. So she'll touch her staff to the shard, and then Renoy can either do that or maybe touch a wing or a hand or something like that to assist.
I think Renoy would probably just kind of like look around and like pick up some dirt and smudge it on her hands and then connect it to the shards, and she uses nature with her magic. Yeah.
It's most likely mud and sludge.
Yeah.
Word.
I think you're trying to commune with the stone at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's call this is prestige.
Mm-hmm.
It's really navigating others. So you can use Renoy's prestige die as well.
My prestige die is a D4.
I have a D8, but I will use the D4 as well, just in case.
And if you'd like to spend the discipline, you can.
Yeah. I also get a talent whenever a knowledge of magical arts is tested. I would assume she's never done this sort of thing before, so she
applies.
testing herself here. And yeah, she will use her. Let's see. She's going to use a D8 on runes, as a matter of fact.
Going all in.
Going all in, man. We're going to do this. All right, here we go. Here we go. I got it. Got it all here. Come on, Schwartz. I will take a 24.
That's not high enough. The armor class was no. Okay.
This isn't D&D.
You have resolved the mystery of the shard. All right, so that means that you get a favor because you went up 20, and you can tell me what happens. The outcome is that you're going to tune into the stone. That's what you're trying to do, right?
Uh-huh.
So you tell me what happens, what it looks like.
Question first, favors go from last time, right? Because I had 2 from last time.
No,
or did
they
reset?
They reset.
They reset.
So
Dang.
you have 1 right now.
Okay.
You have to spend them. They're for spending, not for hoarding.
But it's like you gotta have them. What if you need them?
That's why you use them.
It's like vacation time.
I always have so many health potions in games. It's ridiculous. Anyway, okay, yeah. So what she does is she has her staff there, and Renoy, has her hand there, right, with the dirt, and Enosi starts drawing a rune on the shard, and everything kind of starts to glow this kind of bluish light, and like the where Renoy's I was playing a Horizon Zero Dawn, so I was about to say Aloy, but Renoy's hand like is also kind of glowing blue, where it's like in contact around, and it kind of expands around both of where they're in contact to kind of create this kind of doorway into the shard.
So the doorway is open to anybody. You all see this, but one thing that Enosi you realize right away is that this has been tampered with. And if you go through that doorway, it is a portal. It is not a communion with the dead divine. And so and you wouldn't have seen that had you not communed with it. So like you can actually feel the resistance of the stone. Like it's like somebody carved out a big chunk of the tree and filled it with concrete. That's what it feels like to you. And the stone has been trying to reject it, but it's a powerful spell that's been put on there. And somebody's using the power of the shard in order to create a portal.
Enosi will explain this to everybody. She said, and say this is not communing with it. There's some kind of portal here. Somebody put this here, and this shard is trying to reject whatever spell is here that's creating. This is a portal to where I don't know, but it's not going to allow us to commune with the divine. Someone has put this portal here, has used the shard somehow.
If only we knew somebody who understood curses.
Oh, you mean Renoy? Yeah. I guess I could figure. Well, my magic is mainly for creating curses, not, I don't think, understanding them. Or is there some way that Renoy can? I'm not exactly sure.
Well, I mean, she can kind of look and see what the deal is just by looking at it. And it's not because of your path. It's not that difficult to figure out. So, and just let me figure this out. I think we have. Okay, so you look at the at the portal, and you can tell right away that this is leveraging the power of the stone. And so for somebody to have done that, is they would have had to essentially, I would say, curse it, but there has to be, like, it had to have been done on two sides, so like where the stone is and then wherever the portal leads. So this was not just some fly-by-night accident. This was engineered, and you can't really think of anybody that would have the power to do that, and get away with it. However, as you're examining it, you can kind of see through the other side, and there are several soldiers with plate mail armor marching towards you from the other side of the portal, and behind them, a unicorn.
All right, Renoy's gonna tell everybody this, and she'll just be like, "So, yeah, whoever did this on purpose. Is done on both sides of the portal, probably to establish the portal, but we kind of got bigger problems right now because we got like literal knights in shining armor and a unicorn about to march through the portal at us."
Esther.
She was so trustworthy, though.
I knew something was wrong when I spoke with her.
Yeah.
They're in full march, and out of the portal now you have armored knights with spears, and they're in attack formation coming out of the portal. This looks like the elite guard. You saw them at the feast. And they are coming forward in attack mode. They're actually after you all.
Oh,
Two
now
by
I'm,
two. And
Now-
it's like, and they're just charging out.
oh, I'm mad. I pull out my fishing pole, and get the hook onto the line, to form sort of a lasso, and I'm just gonna try to grab like the first few rows and then like launch them off into the forest.
Okay, so you're gonna roll ally. Oh wait, strike.
Yeah, I'm
Which
gonna.
is
Yeah.
Council guards.
This is so. Am I capturing a creature?
Technically,
Okay, so I'm gonna use Hunter. And does this would this action in any way help restore the balance between nature and society?
it would if you're going after this threat, but you're not.
Ah, okay. Let's see. What else can I do? I think that's it. And I roll courage. So I've got a D, a D6, and a D20.
That should be fine.
Yeah. What could go wrong? Okay. That's a 10.
Good enough. That's all you needed. You needed that number, nothing lower.
All right. So just barely.
Just barely. So they're heavier than you thought.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
So you're like
All that plate
slinging
mail.
off. Yeah, you're slinging them off, and it just sort of throws you off, and you are now in a situation where you could easily get throttled by the next round that are coming through.
Mm.
So you can see him go like, ah! Wilhelm scream through the bayou, and then they are long gone, but the replacements are right behind you, and you feel yourself being pulled down into the bayou by these armored people that are heavy and like dragging you, using the weight of their armor to drag you into the water.
Mm. And he's cussing. He's pissed. Get off! Stop!
They're way heavy, and so I'm actually introducing yet another threat. There's a lot on the table now, which I'll go through in a minute.
Jeez.
But Amir,
Yes.
We did nothing to deserve this treatment. We did nothing to deserve this treatment. Nothing.
We left the wetlands.
it's only a one stage threat, but Amir is being dragged under. And my horrible handwriting. Sorry, that is. We also have on the table Esther, who is coming through this portal. The council guards. One stage has been resolved, and obviously there is a portal that is open.
Jeez.
You mentioned that they were marching shoulder to shoulder, two by two
Yeah.
by two through
Yeah.
the thing.
Yeah,
right?
because it's not big enough really for them to do anything
Yeah.
other than that.
I'm getting
Yeah.
my yes ready because I feel like
Please
would
don't.
like-
I know what he's going to attempt to do.
I would like to bangarang these some bitches
Yeah.
and launch myself Sonic the Hedgehog style through the
Yes.
through the portal and try to knock down as many of these knights as possible.
Can I help with that?
No, you're being dragged under,
Oh.
and
Don't worry, we'll get our fastball special in eventually.
so you're going after the guards, which means some other things are escalating while that's happening. Esther is, as you are, we'll roll what you do on the threat against the guards, but as you're going towards them, Esther has turned into fire and is now launching over the guards into the swamp from the portal. And she manifests again as a solid creature, but her mane is on fire and her eyes are on fire, and you see an immense power blowing around her, and it's actually displacing the water beneath her as if she was some sort of hovercraft, and this power is emanating from her, and she is in full attack mode. But anyway, that's not important because you're going after the guards.
That's not important. The flaming unicorn isn't important.
Well, apparently not. He's going after the guard. So you are
I like
doing.
to imagine it's simultaneous. I bowl myself through, and then she turns into Rapidash and takes a little bath.
So that's a strike roll, which is courage.
Hopefully, quite literally a strike roll. Alrighty. So this is going to be 1d20 plus, you said courage, right?
Yeah.
D6. That is a 20.
All right.
Nice.
You get a favor. Council
Oh,
guards
yeah.
is still in play. You can at least tell me what it looks like. They are still coming out. It's just that the guys that you ran into are not. And what does that fun look like?
I mean, the sound effect is literally like 10-pin bowling, as they are like I rocket through in between them, and they are like blasted out, spinning through the air and clattering to the ground. Their weapons, I assume they have like halberds or something like that.
Yeah.
Go flying out of their hands, and they're going to need a can opener to get out of their armor at this point.
Anosi, as this is happening, before I get there, Grumble, the cards are out, but then there's like a couple of more that are still, but you're on the other side of the portal now, and you're
All right.
you're in like the courtyard of the Darawish Citadel. And
We're back. Okay.
So
All
there are two guards directly in front of you that were on their way out, but now you're in between them and the portal, and there are some reserve guards coming in to the courtyard.
Mm-hmm.
The portal, Enosi, you are feeling like it's cracking. That the pressure of this portal is causing the magic of the divine stone to crack.
Well, we need to do something about that. So Enosi will attempt to do something about that.
Also, Amir is suffocating under the weight of swamp water.
Amir or portal? Amir or portal.
And a large fireball is leaving the unicorn at this moment. And
all right,
erupting
okay.
around.
So we got Amir, and of course the guards, but those are kind of secondary to the other three. So Amir's being guards. What are you even doing here? Okay, so we've got Esther, the on fire unicorn. We got Amir being dragged down, and the portal is cracking.
Yes.
Okay, what does Enosi feel like? I mean, she would love to shout at Renoy to help Amir. Because she feels like she needs to deal with one of these magical entities. One of these magical things. So, Portal or Esther. You know what? She's gonna do it for Amir. She's gonna go after Esther. She's gonna go after Esther. Be like, "You're gonna throw fireballs now? What the heck?" And
apparently, Esther's a magister. You're learning that.
Well, yeah, apparently. Thanks for telling everybody. Whatever. So yeah, she's gonna do her best to I'm trying to say, she wants to do a attack, launch the fireball back at her.
Okay.
If it will do any, just like ping pong, just like
some force just blasts it back.
Yeah, that's what she wants to do.
All right.
And,
well, I mean, I would say this is a defend because you're protecting the party, but it sounds like you are getting back in the name of Amir.
Yes.
So that's actually condemn, which is prestige, and that works better for you.
Yeah, it does. Because that's my D8, and I got the D20. She's gonna use her discipline of words, and we'll do D6 because I feel like I may need the rest of it later. So I'm gonna just do a D6 there. Do I get my path talent magic die because I'm doing magic things, or is that just if she's being tested?
It's just if you're pushing your limits.
Oh, okay.
Which, if you want to make it narratively true that you're pushing your limits, you can use it, but you'll need to describe what the consequences are.
Okay. Well, I mean, if she doesn't do it, she's going to get burned to crap.
Well, I mean the consequences of pushing yourself.
Oh yeah, she's definitely going to get hurt if she doesn't do something. Okay. All right. So let's see.
Oh
what we got
yeah.
here.
Also, since you're fighting with your friends, you get a D6.
All right. Cool. So I've got.
I forgot to roll mine.
Yeah, that's helpful.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see what we got here. Come on, Schwartz.
Lots of dice. That's what I love about this game.
12.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough to stop the escalation, anyway. So, yeah. Big,
All that in a 12.
big wall force just kicks this fireball back to her, and she just absorbs it. That is enough to really make her angry, and she seemed to be angry already. It's hard to tell exactly, but now
For all the flames and everything, it's hard to tell.
It's hard to tell
anger.
And now she's charging at you, and you are in a situation now where you're going to need to disengage, or you're going to be knocked away. So you have to make a choice. It's either try to withstand her charge, or you're going to have to dive out of the way, and then you're not going to be able to help anybody else at this point until you get back up.
Oh man, I don't know. Inosi doesn't like being challenged like this, so she's going to try to withstand it. I'm going to say she's going to go for it. She's going to be like, "Oh, what? You're not magical enough to come at with your magic. Now you're going to come at me physically. I'm a dragon. Okay, you're a unicorn."
So the unicorn just fire trailing behind her just roars you. Sort of superficially, but it definitely hurts you in more ways than one. How does this make you feel?
Oh, she's mad.
Mad. Okay, so
she's mad now.
Mark a harm to your
virtue.
Virtue.
All right, done.
All right. Well, we have a bunch of things going on. Lots of stuff happening. The most pressing thing, I think, is that Amir is about to run out of air, as he is being drowned in the water. Now, Amir, you can, if you want, try to do something with that, or some. I think Renosi was going to try to save you, or maybe you can work together.
Save me,
Renoi. Sorry.
Yeah.
Or his muscle's going to have to pop some cans.
Renoi wants to try to save Amir because they've grown to be close friends, so she's pissed, right? Now how far, like, in the mud and the sludge is Amir and the other knights?
Oh, well, they're all they're right by you. I mean, this is all happening right.
Oh no, I mean, like, how deep?
Oh, how deep? Oh,
yeah.
Just 3 or 4 feet, enough to get his head under.
Okay, so his head is under. All right.
The 3 or 4 feet isn't much for him, but it might be a little much for you, depending on what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, Renoi's gonna try to fly and do this, right? So, she wants to kind of do what she did back in the ocean, where she kind of parted the waves. But what she wants to do is actually raise them all up from the sludge pile, kind of like in this sludge mountain. She wants to kind of thin out the liquid and raise them all up and have Amir in the air so he could be there and just try to shake them off and throw them. Yeah. So
excellent. This is the escalated threat we're on, where Amir is about to get drowned.
Mm-hmm.
Swamp water in the lungs.
Can I help by doing that shaking off motion?
Yes.
All right.
So you're both rolling virtue because you're protecting.
Okay.
All right.
All
so,
right.
Take an extra D8 for me.
Okay, and
or defend. In this game, is called defend.
Defend. Okay, and my virtue is a D6. So then I got a D6, a D8, and a D20. Almost 9.
Okay.
Never mind.
Are you going to die? Is that what you're asking?
What? No, I was
Oh,
just I couldn't remember how favor worked for a second.
Yeah, you can add another die to the pool. You can introduce a truth. Maybe that might help the situation. Or you can go after a threat that's already been subdued. So, how do I want to do this?
I need new dice, man.
There's so many things I could do. I'm just trying to decide. All right, so here's what happens. You have this mound of mud and water levitating up, but it gets caught in with the sort of cyclonic energy of the magic around the stone. Everything is so disrupted. And so now Amir is trapped in this cyclone with the soldiers being thrown around, but he's completely out of control. And in the next moment will probably be spun off into God knows where. So you've created sort of a magical maelstrom, and it's taken on an energy of its own. And so you're sort of like this blackish and purple cloud turning into a cyclone. And it's causing a lot of wind around, but right now Amir and these 2 guards are wrapped up in it. And it just made things worse.
It's a giant NATO.
So what since you were rolling virtue, are you angry about this? I mean, is this going to take harm to your virtue, or is it going to be more like, oops? That could be a prestige hit.
Yeah, I think she's gonna take, like, she's angry. She's like, freaking dice, man.
All right, so you take harm to your virtue.
Yeah.
And do I take harm too for helping?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, you're just the victim of the bad roll. But you are in a situation here, and if you don't find a way to get out of it, things are going to get rough for you.
Yeah. I would love to try to get out of this.
As you are working your way out of it, you can see the shard beneath you is splintering under the magic and the power, and it's sort of like this violet energy is busting out of fractures in the stone, and you don't know if this is about to explode or what, but something's going down. And now what do you want to do?
Well, I need to try to get out of this me NATO, and you said that there's splinters in this shard.
Yeah.
Okay, well this seems suitably dangerous for something that's Emir's probably not thinking too well. I'm gonna try to hook my rod into into one of the splinters in the shard so I can pull myself out of this.
All right. You're going under your triple escalated threat here.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm so sorry. Bruno is like, I'm sorry, Amir.
That's okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so you know what? I am good at surviving the elements.
Well, there's an example.
Yeah.
This is a good example.
So how do I get me out of a tornado? That's a D8. I'm gonna use the D8 from that one. And what am I rolling here? Am I
defend?
myself?
You just got to
so
steer
that's
into the
virtue,
spin.
Yeah.
So yeah, turn into the skid. All right, so that's another D8 for virtue, right? And
Yes.
I am fighting with my friends. Yeah.
Not really. No, you're in a tornado all by yourself,
Okay.
and you're not fighting. Well, you're fighting for your life, but it doesn't quite count.
Okay. And I would like this nature to stop unbalancing my society. I don't. Is that no? Okay.
Well, no, wrong threat.
I'm gonna spend my favor to
Yes,
get another D6.
you can do that.
It's a D6, right? When I spend favor, or
That's
it doubles
right.
my.
It's a D6.
Okay. All right. Here we go. See if I can pull myself out of here. All right. Yeah. Look at that. Okay. 23.
Yay! I can.
I want your dice.
So I get my favor back. They've been kicking my ass the
You
last
get your
few times.
favor back, and you tell me what happens.
All right. So I hook into the as he's like spinning around, it looks like he's about to be thrown, and as he's like the terminal velocity is too much and he's going to be thrown out, the hook wraps around into frame and catches on the thing, on the shard, and he just like yanks it as hard as he can, and he comes like skittering superhero landing style right up to Esther, like dirt and everything just out from him as he's like hits the ground with so much force. And then Muscles like comes around up the top of like a upended bit of stone, and roars.
So Esther is rising up on her hind legs, and there is just streams of fire coming from her hooves as she's about to trample whoever's in her path. And on the other side of the portal, the guards are arriving. Not the recruits, but the ones that are replacing the others. There's a term for that. They're coming into the courtyard. So what are you doing, Grumble?
Grumble is fighting them off with he's using his banjo as a sledgehammer to fight off the onslaught of knights and other unsavory characters.
All right, great. Well, this is a straight up courage roll.
Hell yeah.
You might have these guys beat.
15.
All right, good. See, there aren't too many threats. You want to see the crossed out version? That's always satisfying. So, Banjo is just like, are there like freeze frames of like, faces and mid hit?
Yeah, the Foley is just somebody shaking a bag of like empty cans overlaid with like smashing a guitar against the ground.
So there are some more that are coming. They're seeing their fate, and so they're kind of drawing back. And you can actually hear cannon fire coming from outside the walls. And many of the guards that were coming in to assist in this portal are now turning around to go address whatever's happening against their walls. So you're kind of left alone in the courtyard, and you feel heat behind you. And if you look back, you'll see that there is a trampling, fiery unicorn.
I'm just gonna like stick my head through the portal, so you just see like the face part of the big rock. The brim of my hat will probably peek through first, and then I mean, I imagine this is basically like that GIF from Community where Troy walks in with the cake and like everything's on fire. Who looks like they're in the most trouble right now?
Nosy and Amir are about to be trampled by a fiery unicorn.
All right, I'm just going to run straight towards a fire unicorn and headbutt it.
Okay. All right. Another strike. I think, assuming you said who was the most in threat. So this is actually a defend.
Okay. Which is
virtue.
Virtue. Oh, even better. Okay, I'll take that. And I get a D6 for pastoral. Is that how this works?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh boy. That is a 22.
Awesome. You get a favor. The threat of Esther is still in play, but we've gotten 2 stages. So you can tell me what happens without really dealing with Esther. So what does this look like?
I want to like smash into her, and there's just like this explosion of light, like like an epic version of like steel and slate, right, where you like spark them, and I want to knock her back and daze her.
And the trample stop at mid trample after this massive explosion. There's some cracking noises coming from the obsidian behind you, and all of a sudden clawed fingers are coming up from the water around the obsidian, as some of the undead are finally rising up in reaction to this maelstrom. The tornado, which is another threat that's happening, is
Oh my God! Read the room, Starved. Read the room.
It's this energetic tornado is centered directly on top of the shard, and it's just whipping around and causing a lot of wind, and that's going to become a bigger problem. You think? What next? There's only
Starved were like barbecue, and we're like, no, go away.
I was made to believe there would be punch and pie.
All right. So
yeah, what do you do about all this?
We had 4 threats, 4 different ones, and now we still have 4. Right. So we have Esther.
She's not escalated right now because she just got
right. So we have Esther, the portal, the Starved, and the tornado.
But there is also a portal that is open that continues to crack and cause problems.
Right. So
that's
there's
4.
That's
why there are Starved and a tornado.
All right, we got to seal that thing up.
Right.
Much easier with a desktop, but I think we're getting through.
Inosi can attempt to do that while everybody else, or at least do something, or at least try to figure out what they need to do to close it. That would be the thing. I mean, she might not be able to just, but she can figure out what they need to do to close it. I guess would be her deal.
Maybe we can sink the shard down into the ground.
Hey, if singing's what it's gonna take, Inosi will sing as loudly as her little dragon lungs can possibly sing. If that's what it's gonna, that's what it takes, man. I'm a little teapot.
I was saying sink with a K, but I mean, anytime singing's on the table, I'm gonna take that.
Yeah, obviously, I thought it was grumble, so I thought that's what he would go to. But yeah, all right. So she's going after the portal.
Yeah, I think at this point you are. Depends on what you're doing. If you're just trying to figure out what to do about it, or are you trying to commune with it, or are you trying to force it to close, or
she's going to try to commune with it to get it to close because that's what she feels like they're supposed to do, and that the forcing would just make it worse. So she's attempting to commune.
All right, that's prestige
with it. So that would be my D8. So I got my D20, my D8. I'm going to use another D8 for her words, discipline with words. I'm using them all up here. So, whatever. I would definitely say this would be tested for magical arts because she's dealing with the shard.
Yes.
And she's fighting with her friends.
Not fighting the shard.
Okay.
It's really for think of it as you're back-to-back superheroing bad guys.
Hey, I tried. It never hurts to ask. All right, let's see what I got here. Come on. I will take a 16.
Okay. You're able to commune with the preserved part of the shard, and it connects with you, and you can feel that it is striving to push out what it views as the corruption, which is the portal and the portal magic. It's trying to reject that. And by doing it, it's putting so much pressure on itself that it's cracking and causing these other effects. So you're able to connect with it, and you know that it's now what it's going through. So you're going to need to you're going to need to figure out how to soothe it. Or how to get rid of the portal. Otherwise, it's going to break. But at least you have the sort of connection. You can communicate. And it's not like words, but you're just sort of able to... You're now...
Yeah, we're like
you're the same,
simpatico. Like I
me,
can
right?
feel, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we're like simpatico. I got it. Cool. Okay, well, that's something at least.
The tornado is pulling it up out of the swamp, though. It's actually lifting it up, and you can kind of see how deep it goes. And it's sort of rising up, and the starve are now swarming on top of all of you. There are enough of them just to kind of they're just like a swarm.
Well, I'm a little busy, so I'll see what everybody else.
And Esther has sprouted wings. And she is now a flying, on fire Pegasus coming up out of the swamp, and looks like she's about to drop something really heavy and dangerous. Some magic is swirling around her, lots of fire and smoke, and her wings are outstretched, and it looks like she's about to clap down, and who knows what's going to happen with that.
A hippogriff, also known as a Pegasus in the Woodlands.
Well,
She's so extra.
consider
She's so extra. God,
Alright.
really? Wings now? Fiery wings now? Wasn't enough you were a flaming unicorn? Now you gotta sprout wings? Like, come on. Come on.
Renoy, at the risk of screwing this up again, but she is pissed. She's like, first you lie to me and Amir, and now you're sprouting wings and you're gonna fly around with me? I don't think so. So Renoy wants to try to divert the tornado and take all of that wind and like shove it in her direction so she just goes blowing away.
Yeah, she's basically a kite right now. I see what you're after.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, so you're going after tornado, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe. Well, that's arguable. That's arguable.
Cool.
The goal is to get her knocked out. So let's say it is after Esther, but using the tornado.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just redirecting the tornado. It's not like the tornado's gonna go away. I don't think so. It makes more sense with Esther. Yeah.
Yeah. And you're doing this out of anger, so this is a full-on strike.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, or it could be enforce your will. I guess it's the same roll. Yeah. So strike, courage.
Courage, perfect. Courage is my D8. I want to use a favor because I'm scared. That's another D8 or D6?
That's a D6.
D6. We're gonna use a different dice and then D20. Okay.
I don't think your pastoral applies here because you're using the magic to attack.
Yeah. Oh, fell on the ground. But just enough. 14. Yes.
So the cyclone kind of rips through, and the fire just rips up into the wind. Now, her magical fire is now turning this into a fire tornado, and she just is thrown off into the sky, at pretty far away. But now you have a fiery tornado, and that's a problem because that sucks. Also, the Starve are after you all, and you're actually feeling well, Grumble. You're just kind of like they're ignoring you. You're a rock, and you can't really satiate their hunger. But the other three of you are, feeling their claws rip into your flesh as they're starting to try to eat you. And there's so many of them, you can't really count them. I mean, each one of you probably has 3 or 4. Amir, you've got like 7 or 8, all just kind of swarming, and there seem to be more coming out as the shard is just pulsing with this black inky energy.
Wait, am I not flying anymore?
You have a good point.
Okay.
So the 3 or 4 that were on you are now like trying to hang from your ankle and are falling, but yeah, you're shaking them off.
All right.
So Esther is still flying, right?
She is, yeah, but catapulted far away. She probably, I don't know, like a football field away.
Okay.
She got thrown out by the wind.
Is so she's got a good view of the field.
Yeah.
Is she within range that Emir yelling, she would hear it?
With the voice that Amir has, I'm sure. Yeah.
Okay. So I would like to make a stand. Esther, look what you have brought! Like he's pointing out all of her men just being swarmed by Starve. And he like scrapes up a bunch of the Starve to like move them out of the way and show the bodies of her guard. and he's like, "Your greed will destroy you," and he's just screaming, and he throws it to the side. And he's not attacking her at all. He's just trying to like save her men. And he's gonna make a stand. Oh, I don't need that.
Yeah, make a stand. That is virtue.
Okay. I'm gonna
Esther's last stage.
Yeah. So I got a good virtue. I got a D8 in virtue. I am gonna spend a favor again for another D6.
Yay.
Shoot, I don't think any of my disciplines help with this.
No. Yeah, if you were a scoppler, it'd be better, but
yeah, that's okay. Right. So I have 2 dice. Here we go.
Come on, I'm here.
Come on. Oh, hell yeah. 24.
Ah, sweet.
The good part about this is that Esther is now off the table, so you have narrative control, and you can tell me what she does.
But I can't use her
You can
to take out to address a different threat, though, right?
No, not well. I mean, it depends, I guess, on how you want to do it. We can negotiate that, but you do have control over Esther.
Sure. All right. So, like, we get the view from Esther's vantage point, and she can see all of the starve just swarming her men. And I think we get the flashback of her doing this spell in the first place. I don't know where my authority stops, so interrupt me if you need to. But if I understand the timeline correctly, she did this before the Hydoni attacked, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
That's been established. Yeah.
Yeah, and so like we see her coming here as a way to like expand her own empire, and then having to like deal with the repercussions of that. Like we get these quick flashes of her doing the thing, the starve overrunning the Hydoni, like her coming back to celebrate, and then her own civilization being overrun, and then her doubling down time and again to the point where now the like last of her men are here being overrun by these monsters that she's created. And I think we just see the fire whip up again, but this time we can tell she's on our side.
Mm-hmm. So, so there's a fire tornado. The starver's still there. But Esther, I mean, I'll take it another step because she's in charge of the portal, and it's probably where you're heading anyway.
Mm-hmm.
She mutters some words in a language you don't understand, and the portal closes. And there's a sort of a release that Inosi you feel, and you feel the shard to sort of fill up with energy and then relax.
Where's Grumble?
Grumble is on the other side.
No,
you weren't? Okay.
no, I'm fighting the starve.
Yeah, he came in and headbutted Esther when he came through the portal.
Yeah, you had come through the portal to hit Esther, so you're with the others.
Keep up, Chronicler.
Actually, you know what I loved about the whole Esther threat thing is each one was each one of us. Like, because Inosi got that hit with the fire, and then Grumble got the headbutt, and then Renoi threw her with the tornado, and then Amir just like demoralized her at the end. I just like how that worked out, that we all did something to take her out.
So the portal is gone, but there's still problems. What do you do? There's a tornado that's now on fire, and there are starve that are still crawling around.
We've already established that I can sort of manipulate weather. Would that extend with song? Would that extend to the tornado?
It is weather.
Can I calm the winds?
Yeah, let's give it a try. Why not?
All right. So
Somebody's got to do something.
Yeah, I'm going to use my Cantor discipline. What move is this?
That's a good question. Why don't we do...
I'm trying to calm it down. I'm not trying to overpower it.
Yeah. I think this is prestige because in a way you're communing with it.
Okay.
So you'll be navigate others.
Okay. I'm gonna spend a favor on this. So that'll be it's a D4 plus a D6. Oh, that is a 24.
All right. Off the table, so it's all you, and you get your favor back.
So I get my favor back, and then I can decide what happens with the can it start turning the other way and like spread out the starve, like push them out from around the mound where the shard was?
Yeah, sure, I'll allow it. That I think we can just unilaterally kill this threat. I mean, normally you would need to go after it again, but the narrative is sort of closing. So let's just say that's what happens.
I got a 24, Chris.
You
Come
got a
on.
24, and there's like a fire tornado. So what are zombies going to do except die? You know?
Yeah.
Right. So I'll take that 24 and run with it.
How much higher do you want him to roll? Gosh.
26.
We'll
28.
satisfy you.
28, I guess, is the maximum.
So, and we can have like, starve on fire just flying off into the sky.
Oh, yeah.
This is kind of bulldozing through. And then eventually it kind of dies down. And the pulsing darkness from the shard has subsided. And the sun emerges again. And after all of this calamity, the mist sort of clears, and you see Esther just standing there in her unicorn form with her head down. And she turns around and begins to walk away.
Not so fast, little lady. You have a lot of explaining to do. You're a liar and a cheat. And if there's one thing that I hate more than anything else, it's a cheat. So, what's going on?
You hear in your heads, I only wanted to help my people. I'm going to go now.
Where are you going to go?
Find a new place to live away
What,
from
you
the
can't-
others.
You can't just attack us with knights and starve and corrupt this shard and then just walk away. We're not going to let that happen.
I wanted our star back.
All right. I can understand that. I have empathy for that, but not for your methods.
I won't bother anyone again. And she begins to walk away. Esther is giving up as a threat.
You can't try to burn somebody's house down and then when they put the fire out, say, okay, never mind. I guess I'll be on my way. You have to answer for what you've just done.
Can I try to throw a curse on her? Just a very small one. I want to paralyze her in place so she can't move, and she can't move until Renoy says she can.
And so she has to listen to Grumble.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so Grumble, I think you're making a stand. And you get it's virtue, right? Yeah. You get virtue, you also get Renoy's virtue.
My virtue is a D6, so
Hell yeah. I'm going to spend. Okay. Spend a favor. That is 16.
Okay. So the curse kind of stops her, and she can't move. She listens to Grumble's words, and then says, "I have lost everything. What is there to be judged? What judgment can you possibly land on me? The Hydoni are breaking down my walls as I speak. The Darawish are over. I have nothing. I have seen my judgment. But do what you will. I will not fight. I have nothing left."
I mean, you have expertise that we can use, that we can we can try to get both of our stars back. I mean, like I said, like I understand where you're coming from, but it's just your methods need work, lady.
Maybe I can help. You hear somebody clear their throat from behind a large swamp tree. What do they have out there?
Pluck him out of some mud, but yeah, go for it.
Cypress. And Julius Lorado comes around the corner of the cypress and I think that if you were to open up the God shard, you would find any number of gods that you want. According to my studies, they all go to the same place. So if you, my lady, have figured out how to open it, then you can help find yourself the flute, and you can help them find their Oathstar. This has been a spectacle. Thank you so much. The chronicle that comes out of this will give me my home back and more. I owe so much to all of you. This was amazing. And he's heading off. He got his story.
You can't bounce out like halfway through the story, man.
Oh no.
We got plenty to show you.
I got my story. I am very appreciative too. And thank you. I am off now. Since the Hydoni are completely leveling another city, according to what I hear, I'm just going to go south, and maybe Underbridge will be nice this time of year. Yeah, they're nice people.
I'm going to walk up to him and hook my arm in his arm and try to swing him back around, back towards the group.
Enough danger for one day. Thank you, Grumble, whatever your name is. I have
now, Julius. You can't just walk back through the swamp by yourself. That's just dangerous. It's better if you stay with us.
I think going into a God shard might be more dangerous. If I'm weighing the two objectively, and I think what is better, what is worse, walking through a swamp, mosquitoes, crocodiles, foot rot. Going through a God shard, complete annihilation. I think I'm going to go with the uncomfortable feet. Now, I got this close to being eaten by an undead monster, and I've gotten this close from being blown up by an angry unicorn. I am going to go now to Underbridge and
you're
some
fine.
Of their tropical
like two
drinks.
of those are extremely dangerous situations that you got out of in one piece unscathed. I think if anything, that proves that we are up to the task of protecting you.
All right, I'm going to make you roll.
You would be a fool for leaving right now.
I'm going to make you roll again. Can you convince him to stay without force?
Honoria kind of looks around at everybody and kind of just under her breath says, "Did anyone else forget he was still here?"
Right. And OC's like, "I'm surprised he saw anything hiding behind that tree."
So I got
Lorado wants to leave.
There we go. And I'll use a favor. Why not?
You think a favor? You really want him to stay?
Let's see what we got. Hey, that's a 20.
Okay. He has to stay. Well, I suppose...
So much for your multiverse.
I suppose for the sake of history, Julius Lorado should stay a little while longer.
I mean, Grumble's right. Just think, if you survive the guard shard, what a story that will be.
Yes, if is an interesting word.
But if not, you'll go down a legend.
Don't worry. Muscles will keep a close eye on you. And then, like, Muscles comes up and licks him. You'll be safe.
The challenge with these creatures is that they need teeth to survive. However, what they eat do not naturally clean their teeth. Therefore, halitosis often invades, and the stench of their breath can be overwhelming.
Oh, you get used to it.
Very well.
So I guess we're trying to head into the God Shard now.
So Esther will assist in trying to open it up.
Indeed.
Which means you'll get an advantage. That means you get to roll your prestige twice, since we're using Navigate Others. And what else are you going to do to help open up this shard?
Is Enosi taking the lead and Renoy helping, or how
I
is this
assumed it was you because you already had a connection with
Yeah,
the
okay.
shard.
So it
but
is.
I'm sure that Renoy can find a way to help.
Yeah. So
Yeah, she would just do the same thing as last time, basically.
it's prestige.
Yes, but you get to roll twice because Esther's helping.
Okay, great. So that's 2d8s. And this, I think I'll get my d6 for magical heart because I'm just dealing with this shard.
Yes.
And we'll go ahead. And she's gonna use her tome this time. So that's a magical. It's basically the words that are on her staff. She's gonna use to help her. That's her tome.
Open the shard.
All right.
Single stage threat.
Come on, Schwartz. We'll take a 17.
All right. Yeah, it's amazing. You are sort of you have that connection with the shard, but the shard just sort of receives you, and it's like you opened up from a dream and you just woke up, and you feel rested and at peace and at calm, and you're in a dry, waist high grass field. That's the gentle breeze is coming. You can smell the arid air that you grew up with, and all of you are just sort of present, looking around. But Julius Lorado and Esther are not there. The truth that enters Anosi's mind on this is that when you pass through the material realm, distance is measured by how well and familiar you are with one another and your place. So you have woken up in the Whitlands with your clan. The dusty white chalk ground is underneath your feet, and the air smells arid. It is like another time, though. This doesn't feel real. It's like you're in a waking dream.
Anosi, where did you? What? Why? Okay, what is going on? Like, where are we right now?
The shard brings you towards people and places that you're familiar with. That's what it shows you. This appears to be the Whitlands, but quite a long time ago.
The sun is setting, and you can see in the twilight countless stars starting to form as the daylight descends into night.
Whoa.
Nosi's going to try to find the Oathstar in the sky.
There's a bright reddish star, brighter than the others. We would call it a planet in this world, near the horizon to the west, and you're confident that's her. And as the twilight progresses, the fields of stars progress until it's night, and you see the galaxies and the stars and all
So
of that.
we're seeing stars for like pretty much the first time in 500 years.
Yeah.
I would never have imagined that there were so many.
Renoy just drops to her knees and she like quietly starts sobbing because she's overwhelmed.
Inosi will put a hand on Renoy, patting her.
Emir holds down like a handkerchief.
Grumble is like looking up.
It's like as big as a blanket.
Thank you.
Grumble's trying to angle up to look at all the stars, and eventually he like teeters back and just is like rolling on his back like a turtle on its shell, entranced by the stars. He has that full on anime glitter thing going on in his eyes.
Yeah, if you have any conditions, they're all gone, as this moment is basically resetting everything you think.
Does that give us our disciplines back, or just our conditions?
Just your condition. Yeah, you
got
just
it.
if you have any
Emotions.
harm. Yeah. There's you hear some people coming up a hillside nearby. After a moment, you see that there are a dozen or so children with a couple of adults that are coming up to the mountaintop, the hilltop rather. And when they see you, you hear a word that sounds like halt, but it has a very strange accent. Like you had to think for a moment to say, is that what that person said? Halt or stop? And they're brandishing spears and are now kind of approaching you with a lot of fear in their eyes.
Can I tell from the way that they talk or their dress, like how long ago this was? Because I've been around for a super long time and also know tons of stories and legends and myths.
Yeah,
and stuff.
you can know on the surface that this is definitely an older time before the fall, but you would need to go back into your memories, which will require time of peace and meditation to sort of access the
Okay.
memory to kind of get more specific. But it's not something you need to roll for. It just takes time to remember.
Okay.
I guess if you know everyone's kind of, then Inosi will step forward and she'll try her best to say, you know, we mean you no harm. You know, we are Whitlanders too, and see if they understand her. And she's going to try to you know assume a non-threatening pose, non-threatening stance, I guess.
All
When
right.
Inosi steps forward, Grumble kind of leans over to Renoy and it's like, oh, good, our leader's on it.
That's good.
All right. You're going to roll ally against the threat oath takers.
I will roll.
Which is
She's
virtue.
definitely trying to, virtue. And she's definitely trying to soothe them, which is her. I can spend a favor to move a threat down one stage.
Great. It's a one threat.
So I will
stage.
spend that favor. So it's at a 1.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's all I get. Because I don't think, because she's not using magic or anything else. She feels like that would flip them out. So
Yeah, probably.
13.
Okay, well, that's all you need. You calm them, and you know they kind of get that you have a strange dialect, and after a moment or two, they can begin to communicate with you, and they start asking questions faster than you can understand. Because the language would be like, it's like if we were listening to Old English. I mean, you can probably pick up maybe Middle English. You can probably pick up certain things, but not everything. And the dialect is so odd, very difficult to communicate. But you gather that they are about to do their oath, and they're inviting you to join with these young Whitlanders to take their oath, to make them adults in the clan. And this is the Asar clan. You can see that this is sort of the early stages of the Asar clan. And that actually might trigger Grumble's memory a little more.
Okay.
I think there's something that happened in the past where it was said that the Oathstar appeared before the people of the Whitlands. And you're starting to put two and two together that might be happening tonight.
Was there anything in that story about the four of us? Like that could be the four of us?
That is I kind of want the dice to answer that question.
Do we got a 12 monkeys situation happening here?
It's
dice?
timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly.
If you have a favor, you can spin for it to be true. Otherwise, let's just see what the dice say, because I'm completely neutral on that question.
I got a favor. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll spend one to make that true.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm stranger the favor.
Since you spent the favor, you tell me what the story is.
The Grumble has heard there's sort of like a mythologized version of this, right? Where it's obvious that there was like a historical thing that happened, but it has been turned into legend by the retelling and by time, right? And in this story, in this legend, they mention that there are four titans, each holding up a pillar of the world, each one representing a different element. And one is air, one is earth, one is water, and one is fire. And the indications of like these stations that they have are one is scaled like a salamander or a dragon, one flies on feathered wings, one has a fishing rod and an aquatic animal, and then the other is made of stone. And it's obvious now. Grumble's kind of like, oh wait, I know this story, and it's clear that we have some sort of a closed time loop thing happening here. Like maybe Grumble realizes we might actually be in the past. We're not just. This isn't a dream. This is reality. This is happening in real time, just not our time. So maybe because I know now, the question is how accurate is the version that I heard as far as what happens between the Oathstar and the four titans.
Mm-hmm. And what did you hear? You paid for it. What does the story say about the Oathstar coming to the earth to talk to the titans, or do what with the titans?
Well, tell me more about like what Grumble would know about the Oathstar outside of this story.
The other cultures tend to call her the Princess Knight, which to a Whitlander sounds crude.
Okay.
But she's often portrayed as a warrior, and that's why you swear your oath to her, so that you can have the power that you need to defend your homeland. And she's a princess in that she is a royal lineage that ascended and was considered one of the greatest of the Whitlanders. So
okay, I got it.
Yeah. Okay.
So the Princess Knight spoke with the Titans, and the Titans warned her that a great darkness would come and she would lose her way. So to always watch the path back to her home. And what I want to do is I want to set it up so that there is some signal that the Princess Knight would be able to hear and then know that it's time to come back home. So that in the present we can call her back into the sky.
So are you going to relay that to the others?
Oh, this is totally like the wait, I know what to do, Bawi Grana Weep Niniban type thing, where I'm like, wait, I know this story. Hold on a second. And like goes up and he's like, all right, riddle was there will be a time of great darkness where you will lose your way. So always keep one eye on the path back to your homeland so that we can call you back at the right time.
The others are kind of watching you in awe, trying to hang on to every word, understand what you're saying. But the rest of you, as he's talking, you can look back and you see that the kind of reddish star is gone, and you hear a whistling noise, like somebody whistling nonchalantly. And after a moment or so, this young girl wearing Whitlander garb and a sword like twice her size, is kind of on her back like this, as she's walking, holding the hilt, is strolling up the hill, like she's on a picnic walk or something. And she stops and sees you all. Well, I just woke up and I wasn't expecting to see you. She puts down her sword, stretches a bit. The other Whitlanders are freaking out. They're dropping down, worshiping, talking so fast you can't understand them.
Sure. Inosi would bow for sure to her.
Grumble will take a knee.
I don't know that I would. So I take no oath. So I think I'll just sort of like try to make myself smaller, but not like I'm not going to bow.
Mm-hmm.
Sit crisscross applesauce.
Yeah, I'll just sit down where Renoy was crying.
Yeah, and Renoy is already kind of kneeling on the ground, so I mean, she's just there, but I don't think she normally would bow anyways, just because she's a wicker, so she's sort of used to having a high status.
I remember this moment. I remember. And then she's gone, and the star's back in the sky. And in the next moment, there's a teenager coming up the hill with a sword on her shoulder. And she says, I can't find my way. And she looks a little scared. Any amount of hesitation in the situation repeats, except now she's older. She's a young woman. And this cycles through. You see her whole life until she becomes an aged woman.
So the question is, do we want to grab her at the maiden matron of crone level? I think I'm going to lean over to Inosi and say, we have to show her the way back home. We have to bring her back with us to the present.
Agreed.
We have to go back to the future.
You did not. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Great Scott, everybody.
Scott. So are you Marty or never mind?
I'm the DeLorean.
Okay. Yeah, Inosi says agreed. We need to find some sort of guide for her. A guide, some way that she can find her way back to where she needs to be.
The only guide that we have is the one member of our party who can't take an oath.
That's not true. Renoy, I know you are upset, but we are technically in our lands older, different, but you know these better than anyone, any of us.
I do. So I guess maybe now it's time for Renoy to cast some magic and figure out what path they're supposed to follow, if it is a physical location. Because that's one of her talents. She just knows the way.
Awesome. The Oathstar avatar doesn't seem to be entirely conscious. Like she looks lost mentally and physically, and so like you really haven't been able to do anything except observe her say, "I don't understand," or "I might remember this," or "This is familiar," and she just is gone and cycles through the state. But that's the threat. Oathstar is lost.
All right. Well, I guess can Renoy roll to try to figure out where she needs to go, or does she need to stay in? Oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say I think that would work if Renoy can figure out like the path we need to lead her on. One of us can try to figure out how to lead her on that path, right?
Perfect.
So if Renoy figures out the path we need to take to get back, one of us can try to get the second part of it and figure out, how we can get her to focus and be here so we can lead her down that path.
Yeah, I just need to know how you're doing it.
Yeah, I can probably help with the second part, like actually forging the path once we know where to go.
Oh, you mean like how I'm doing it magically?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. And I don't have to roll for it?
Well, you do have to roll for it.
Oh,
But I need to know how you're doing it. What does the magic or the moment look like?
Let me see. So I think Renoy, she's going to draw not really symbols in the dirt, but mainly like kind of almost like a really rough map that she knows of her homeland. So she'll like kind of draw a big square or rectangle and then have markings on there for like major rivers or roads or anything like that. And then she'll kind of just like stand up and then just kind of chant something under her breath. And what is supposed to happen is all of the paths that aren't the right ones are supposed to disappear on the map, but leaving the right one there. So knowing that, then she'll know where everybody needs to go. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, roll it. I think this is a.
It's definitely using a talent, I think. Yeah.
This is Scout. You need to use courage for this.
Courage. Oh, good.
Find something hidden.
Courage is my D8. Yay.
Nice. And you have guide, right?
Yes. Let me see. Pastoral trade guide. Yep. You never get lost. I can always find the easiest path in the wild. Yeah. Okay. So I guess just a D8 and a D20 then, huh?
Yeah, go ahead and throw in a D6 because of guide.
D6? Okay. Please. Oh, I think this is the highest that I've ever rolled. 19 plus 4. I can't do math in my head.
23.
23, thank you. Yes.
All right, you get a favor for that. And it becomes very clear that you are directed towards the same location physically that you came from. And this is her shard.
All right, guys. The path is leading us right back to where we came from. So I think we found her shard. Now we just gotta bring back. Seems, I don't know. That seems a little difficult right now because she keeps blinking in and out of existence. But that's where we gotta go.
You mean we
Yay!
have to go all the way back to where
Yeah.
the shard was?
Yep, all the way back.
That took us weeks.
I know.
Hey, at least we know the way.
Well,
It will probably be easier to find a boat this time.
probably.
Easier. Plus, we have stars to help us navigate. Well, not that would help us. We don't know. Never mind.
We never learned how to navigate beside by the stars.
So Grumble, it all comes together in your mind, and you realize that what the ancient Darawish called the flute, and what the ancient Whitlanders called the Oathstar, is the same deity. And the signal has got to be
Shock
in the
Pikachu
Citadel.
face.
The signal's got to be at the Citadel. If you fire up that temple, that's probably the way to go. But you have to get back.
How long ago is this?
Well, you don't know. Hundreds of years ago, probably more.
Okay. Less than 1,000?
Yeah, probably less than 1,000.
I definitely want to swing by my birth mound and see baby Grumble.
Aww.
And Grumble was just a pebble,
Little pebble.
a little rock.
Birth mound is perfect.
Yes.
So how will our heroes, who are now in the definitive past of Highcaster, going to cross the land again? And
think-
what is happening to Direwish and the Sundered Hold? And the cannons of Hydoni destroying it. What will happen with the flute? And the
This
open
opens
sphere?
up so many questions about is the timeline that we left still going ahead, and then we're gonna who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, is
It's
this
a
like
mystery.
is this Back to the Future? Is this MCU?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Who knows?
It's gonna be Looper.
Groundhog Day.
Right? Oh, I hope not. Although going the same journey all over again.
That's true.
It's a little Groundhog Day.
Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, but it's a long time ago, so it will be different now. It won't be the same. Yeah. So I think Amir needs to help us like go through because things are probably going to look different.
Yeah.
And the big question is how you're going to do all of this in one episode, because there's only one episode left.
Oh, we're gonna need an 80s montage, obviously.
Yeah, clearly.
with the colorful pop music.
Grumble can
Fighting off
definitely play Sid.
crocodiles. All right, cool. Well, I think we are going to wrap there. And I'm just letting our producer know in case he doesn't. Otherwise, we're just going to stare awkwardly.